Just let me know when you're here. Physical quality of discussion. Okay, that's fine. Can you hear me? Okay. All right. So, part of the purpose in having this conference is twofold. One is to talk about like your topics for what you're going to be working on for the rest of the semester, and also to talk about your midterm portfolio. Okay. Just let me know if I'm talking too fast because sometimes that tends to happen. That especially when I get excited about something. So, oh, excuse me. I may take swigs of water as I'm talking because I've been talking all day, so my mouth can get really dry. Okay. Okay. Okay, so first thing I want to talk about is some of the topics that you have posted, because I see you've already posted your choices of topics. Um, Eat healthy and how to maximize the amount of nutritious food that is consumed in schools. Some of the things that are thrown in the recycling bin are actually not recyclable. Um, Tire food containers. Wow. Distribute extra cooked food from restaurants to homeless, hospitals, students, emergency responders, prisons, and then air pollution and how to efficiently solve it using drones and or static filters. Okay. So, really, any of those could be options for a topic to move forward with. It is really and truly up to you which of those you actually choose for a topic. You do want to make sure that it is something that you are really and truly interested in because it will be the topic that you focus on for the remainder of the semester. So it'll be the topic for your annotated bibliography, for your actual proposal, and for your deliverable, which that deliverable could be a website, it could be a trifold pamphlet, it could be a social media page. Really and truly, it's up to you what that deliverable is or could be. And it also depends on the purpose. So it could be, for example, if you were to choose eating healthy and how to maximize the amount of nutritious food that is consumed in schools, that the purpose of that could be to inform people, to educate people, and also as a call to action. So in that regard, that could be advice as I go along. Oh yeah, sure, of course, most definitely. Because each part of this process, you'll be getting feedback on the topic that you actually choose, and even the research that you're doing, right? Because depending on the topic, it could be research that's necessary to be from more scholarly journals, or it could be government reports. It depends on the topic that you actually choose. But yes, definitely you will be getting feedback throughout the process and throughout each of the assignments that you're creating, all towards the final portfolio. Okay. So which are you leaning more heavily towards of the topics that you've listed? Which are you most passionate about that you would think would be something that you want to write about for like the remainder of the semester? And take your time because you don't have to choose right now. You would have to make a firm choice really and truly after the midterm, because that's when we'll start working on more assignments towards that topic. Where's the food? Right top right now. Okay, wasted foods at school and non-recyclable. Okay, all of course awesome topics. Okay, um, so as again, really interesting, of course, topics. And of course, making sure to choose one that you are the most interested in. Um, I can clearly see both of those would be of interest to numerous people. Of course, for like schools, they'd probably be really interested in um, really examining what is, wasted foods and what they can actually do about it. And really, people in general would want to know more about that. And also non-recyclable materials, because I myself, I am quite ignorant of what is recyclable and what is not recyclable. I became more aware of that really and truly through two places: the institution where I earned my PhD, and also my apartment complex. Because my apartment back in Texas, they actually participated in recycling. So they would give us bags and tell us what to put in those individual bags. That's how I became more informed of like recycling and what is recyclable and what is not recyclable. So that's something to consider with regard to your particular project on how to inform people, because sometimes just people don't know what is and is not recyclable and don't know where to go to find that information. Commonly like foods like pasta. Interesting. Mixing healthy foods. Interesting. Okay. So you're looking at your project more as like how to solve the problem, more like a call to action. Okay. In that regard, I think what will probably be really good with something like a website, because that incorporates a lot more of the visual with text information. And if you have, like, for example, this, like a YouTube video that talks about and shows people how to do this, then you can include that on a website. Um, so yeah, really interesting. Hmm, interesting. This is really like exciting and really interesting with these topics and the way you see about moving with them. Um, about making videos and maybe about a website. Well, I encourage you, of course, to follow your passion and also consider some of this information, some of what you're creating, that you could possibly add this information to your CV, especially things like making a website, making videos, because as you're probably fully aware, your internet may have cut out. Right now, it cut out. Are you still with me? Oh, okay. Yay. Okay. What was I saying? Oh, about website and videos. Of course, naturally, as you're aware, those are things to add to your CV as well, and you'll have something to show people when, if you are like ever apply for a different job or apply for any job that's really focused on creating videos or creating websites in any capacity. A CV, curriculum vitae, kind of like a resume. Sorry, I sometimes I use words that are more prominent in my profession. My apologies. So, yeah, just adding it to your resume. Created a video or created a website, which in some professions, as you're probably already aware, that's in high demand. Being able to show that you know how to do these things. Okay, so with regard to your topics, and you've already um, did the topics, problems, and projects. The next piece is the topics that matter chart. Um, and that chart, I've become more aware that that chart is really confusing. So, have you already completed that chart, the choosing topics that matter chart? Oh, you did that already. Okay, awesome. Okay. That's of course just a matter of, options because you always want to have options for yourself. You never want to like just choose a topic and then move forward. You always want to create options because sometimes when you're doing research, there may not be enough research on that area, or the research that you found is a bit sketchy, not necessarily reliable. And when situations like that, you want to be able to go back to one of your other options. Okay. So let me go ahead and check out your chart here. Um, oh, there it is. It's just taking me a minute to get to some of these screens. Okay. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So one of the reasons to create this chart, well, number one is to have options. Number two is that parts of your chart, part of the information on your chart will become part of what you write about in the next essay, or the topics that matter essay. So with regard to wasted food at schools. So, for example, where you have on the chart, after watching a video about how a group is combating the wasting of food and going through public schools and watching many people throw away food, that was totally fine. So, in that instance, and this is something um, on your next assignment, which is the Dear Professor, a topic that matters. Um, that's what you would use, that information you would use as part of that particular essay. So you'll notice on the first part of the essay, it says, introduce your topic with a strong appeal to pathos, that is, with an anecdote or an event. So when you watched that video, um, that showed, I'm going to bring it up again. So when you watch that particular video about how a group is combating the wasting of food and going through public school and watching many people throw away food that was totally fine, you would write up that as like a short story, as you did like the practice when you wrote the short story and when you wrote the perspectives essay. And you would talk about like, how you felt when watching that. What did that make you? Was it anger? Was it sadness? That is information that you would include as part of the Dear Professor, a topic that matters essay. That's how you would introduce your topic. Then you would identify the problem. Little guidance is helpful. Oh, you're welcome. So that's part of why having this conference. Um, then you would identify the problem that should be addressed. Then you would talk about what you already know, which you already know a lot. So you would talk about what you already know, and then you would end with any questions that you have about that topic, which it could be, why do people continue wasting food? Or why don't people do more about wasting food? Because it could be that people are ignorant. They just don't know what they can do. Um, And then that would be the majority of the essay, because the essay just needs to be a minimum of 1 page, then a maximum of 2. And part of actually writing this up is so that you will have like a basis, like the bones of what you need to do for pretty much the remainder of the semester with regard to the proposal that you're going to write, which the proposal is, this is what I want to do. This is what I hope to do. This is what I hope to accomplish. Um, you will also do that annotated bibliography with the research that you have found on like the wasted foods. You will also part of it is that deliverable of a website. Um, and it's involving a lot more analysis of the information that you found, a lot more analysis of the issue as well. And then to enlighten people of the issue, and then as a call to action to get more people to do more about the particular issue. Now, you don't have to actually do this. We don't expect anyone to actually do the project, to go into schools and start these initiatives. It would be awesome if you could do that, but we don't expect everyone to do that because there may not be enough time to do that. And of course, you probably have other commitments, work, family, other classes, of course. And then this Dear Professor essay, Dear Professor, a topic that matters, that would be something that goes into the midterm portfolio as well. Okay. Okay, so what questions do you have so far before I actually like dive into the midterm portfolio? That is part of it. So for the analysis, it is indeed looking at the issue and about what can be done. But it's also looking at the research that has been done, if there's any research, really, and analyzing any articles that have written about your topic and what those articles say and how the articles actually say it, if it's even useful information. Okay. It is indeed researching what has been done and how it worked or how it didn't work, and possibly why it didn't work. What was missing from when it was, if, when, or if anything has been tried about this particular issue. So yes, it is all of that. Yes. Okay. And of course, there will be guidance, of course, all throughout that process as well, um, to really get into focus, not just what is being said, but how it's being said on the topic as well. So far. Okay. Um, okay, so what questions do you have about the midterm portfolio? Or do you have any questions? Make sure I'm on track. I think that's it. Okay. I did want to mention that I changed the date. I'll pull up the page and see for sure. Okay. Because I think the date, it was um the 7th, I think. And I'm not sure why I had it as the 7th. So yesterday, I actually changed it to the 11th. So the midterm portfolio, it's midterm portfolio slash narrative portfolio. They're the same thing. So it is now due on October 11th, which is Friday. um, just to give you all a little bit more time to make sure that you have all the necessary assignments to put into that particular folder. Make sure to give you your credit. Hazard assignment, right? So yes, everything in the portfolio should be revised. So it's a final draft. So it's your best possible work. So um, there should be no comments. There should not be any suggested edits. It should just be the actual assignments themselves, not anything that looks like you're still working on it. Okay. And it's just those four documents. Nothing else should be in the actual folder itself. And so the NPR's Perspectives radio essay, it should just be the essay, not the recording, just the essay itself. Okay. Is my EC revision good? EC, what does EC mean? What's EC? Right. Yeah, no record. Oh, extra credit. Oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, no, I don't need the recording itself. No, the extra credit is, so when that day passes, then it'll be input as extra credit. So that it'll still show up, but it'll be coded differently on the grading so that it now becomes extra credit. So it'll still show up as the grade, but it'll count as extra credit. Does that make sense? Hopefully. Hopefully that makes sense. Um, but yes, no actual recording, just the essay itself. And don't forget to add that last part. So on the actual essay, the very last part should be the with perspective and then your name, if that's not already existing. Um, and then, of course, you just make sure that it is the anyone with the link can view. Um, and that's because I won't be making any comments on your actual documents. Should I make for the podcast the Word document or was the version I should submit? So if that's your final draft, if the one that you read for your the podcast is the final version, that's the final draft, then yes, that's the one you submit. Of course, just make sure it's the Word document. And again, make sure that you add that last line. So it should be the last part of it should say with perspective, and then of course has your name on it. What was the version I could submit? Yes. Okay. Um, and then okay. Um, Oh, my last bit was just, the link. So you just wanna make sure that the link for the folders, anyone with the link can view, because again, I'm not gonna be making any comments on the essays that are in the folder. I'll be using the rubric to, make comments and then also input points. So I think you can see the rubric already, which there's like the Dear Professor letters, the short story, the perspectives radio essay, and then composing an electronic environment. That's what you will be graded on, and that's where you will see my comments with regard to like the points that you particularly earned um, for each of these components. Okay. And of course, it's due on Friday, October 11th, which is next week, Friday. Not this Friday, next week, Friday. Okay. Okay, so any additional questions? That doesn't matter. Okay, awesome. Of course, if you do have some, then you've already used Canvas Inbox. That's the word I'm looking for. Inbox to ask questions. Um, and so, of course, you can ask questions. Let me know if you have any on the assignments for this week or for the midterm portfolio. So, with this video, of course, once I click on like the end stream, right, it saves it, right? And then I believe it saves this whole chat as well so that you can like refer back to it if need be. Okay. So any last minute questions that you might have that you could think of right now? Okay. Right? It is nice. So you can like refer back to it. So that's kind of cool. Okay, awesome. Well, thanks so much for, participating and, sign up for the conference. And thanks for like all the work that you've been doing in class. I really appreciate it. And I know sometimes it's difficult when it's online, you're not physically in class and all that stuff. But I appreciate all the work that you're doing. And I appreciate you, doing the assignments so we can like, really talk about them and all that good stuff. So pretty much just keep doing what you're doing. And we'll probably most likely have another conference towards as you are working on the assignments for the final portfolio. This was quite useful. Thanks for the compliment. Awesome. I'm glad this was useful. Um, so I will let you go and get back to probably your life. And oh my gosh, I had this last question. So have you been able to watch the YouTube videos that I've been posting at the beginning of every week? Because I just found out, like literally a half hour ago, that sometimes there's a technical error and you're not able to view them. So have you had any issues with that? Like that they're not those YouTube videos are not playing for you? I don't regularly check those pages. Okay, that's cool. No problems. I just wanted to check and see if there was like a technical issue. Because for one student, I know for sure there's like a technical issue, which I have to like follow up with to see like what is going on. Um, because I'm like, we're posted there to like assist. Because sometimes the verbal explanation with the textual helps. And if you're not able to view it, then that defeats the purpose. Um, usually go to the calendar and get the assignments. Oh, that's cool. Do you do whatever works out for you. That's what's most important. Do whatever works for you. Okay. Um, but once again, I'll go ahead and let you go for two reasons. One, you probably have stuff to get to. And also, I have another appointment, well, right now, another student conference. Okay. So, again, I appreciate you showing up and thank you. I appreciate it. Okay. So, have a good rest of your evening and an awesome week. Okay. So, probably sometime after midterms, I'll set up another round of conferences. Okay. Awesome. Thanks. See ya.